Yo, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be going over the MLB slate on DraftKings and Yahoo for Friday, May the 10th. We got a big Friday night slate, 14 games for MLB on Friday night. I'm going to go through the pitcher-player pool, talk about some of the pitchers that I like on today's slate. We'll look at some of the options that I'll be targeting. Then we'll talk about 3 hitters I'll be looking to target for both sites. We'll go over DraftKings and Yahoo. We'll look at some stacks, and then towards the end of the video, we'll talk about some of the BVP plays that I see on this main slate. Just before we do get started, guys, I would appreciate it if you would drop a like on the video. And if you are new to the channel, make sure you click that subscribe button down below so that way you won't miss out on any of my new videos. We're going to start off at the top of the pitcher-player pool. Justin Verlander is our most expensive option today. He's $11K on DraftKings. He is very expensive. If we go over to Yahoo, look at their pricing, he's also very expensive over here, $60, the most expensive pitcher. Verlander is probably going to be a secondary play for me on this slate. Not that I don't like the matchup. I think Verlander has plenty of upside in this spot against the Rangers. Low total for the Rangers, 3.1 implied run total. Plenty of strikeouts in this lineup as well. It's just Verlander is so expensive, and this is a slate where I think there are a lot of good expensive stacks, like teams in good spots. The Twins versus Tyson Ross. I think the Rockies are in a great spot at home in Coors against Eric Lauer. The Phillies against Homer Bailey, a team you could look to. If we scroll back towards the top, even in that game, you could maybe some Astros against Lance Lynn, some Red Sox against Eric Swanson, some Angels against Dan Straley, some Blue Jays against Dylan Covey. So there's a lot of teams that we want to stack today. Some of them are relatively cheap, like Blue Jays bats are pretty cheap. But the good stacks you want to get, like the Red Sox, the Astros, the Twins, are kind of expensive. So that's what's going to make it kind of tough to fit in Verlander. Same could be said for Luis Castillo as well. Castillo is also very expensive. I do like his matchup, though, against a Giants team that does strike out a ton. Going from Coors Field back home to Oracle Park, one of the worst hitters' parks, one of the best pitchers' parks. This is a really tough spot for the Giants. I do like Castillo as well. Tyler Glasnow against the Yankees scares me a bit. It's a pretty good Yankees lineup. They're starting to get a bit healthy. If we look at their projected lineup for tomorrow, DJ LeMahieu, Luke Voit, Gary Sanchez, Miguel Andujar, Torres, Clint Frazier. It's a pretty decent Yankees lineup. Still missing Stanton and still missing Judge, but decent Yankees lineup. It's a good pitcher's park, but I don't know if the upside's really there for Tyler Glasnow. And since he's so closely priced to Verlander and to Castillo, he is probably going to be someone that I shy away from today. If I can fit in these top 2 guys, Verlander, Castillo, I do like getting to them, but I think we want to save a little bit at pitcher, go a little bit cheaper. Really like Zach Wheeler at $9,700. You get a bit of a discount going down from the top 2 studs to Wheeler. I think Wheeler is in a great spot here at home against the Marlins. Marlins tied for the lowest implied run total on the slate at 3.1 runs. Obviously a great matchup for Wheeler. A ton of strikeouts in this Marlins lineup. It's just a terrible lineup. It's a good pitcher's park. Wheeler has a lot of things going well for him here. So I really like him on this slate. If we look at Yahoo's pricing, he is $1 less than Luis Castillo. I feel like a lot of people are going to go to Castillo for $50. So in tournaments, I do like playing Zach Wheeler a lot on Yahoo. I think his ownership is going to be a lot lower compared to Castillo since they're so closely priced. So Wheeler's a guy that I'm really trying to fit in on this slate. If we look at some of the other guys around him, you have Greinke against the Braves, who is probably someone I'll be avoiding. Domingo Germán against the Rays. I do like Germán here, but I think I still would rather play Zach Wheeler. I just think Wheeler's in a better spot overall. Kenta Maeda, I like a lot against the Nationals, but his price also is so closely priced to Wheeler. If Maeda was a little bit cheaper, I would probably have a lot more interest in him. But at $9,200, there's probably other ways that we could look to go on this slate. Just try and find the salary to get up to Wheeler. Like you got like Marquez and Arrieta, 2 guys you could target, but I think I would rather go a little bit cheaper off those guys. My next favorite like mid-range play would probably be Jake Odorizzi, $8,800 against the Tigers. Really like this matchup for Odorizzi. It's a Tigers team that's just not a good lineup. A lot of strikeouts as well. Low total for the Tigers as well at 3.7 runs. Odorizzi a very heavy favorite. But it is pretty tough to play Odorizzi and Wheeler together. That doesn't leave you a ton of salary for bats. But if we go over to Yahoo, Odorizzi is pretty nicely priced over here at just $38. You play him and Wheeler together, that still leaves you an average of 14 remaining per player, which I think can easily be worked around on Yahoo. So I do like getting in some Odorizzi on Yahoo. It's a bit tougher to fit him in, though, on DraftKings since he is 8,800. But I still do like him quite a bit, especially if you go with a cheap stack. Then you could definitely play Wheeler and Odorizzi together. But looking to get some of those expensive stacks in, we are going to need a bit of a cheaper pitcher. And I think that's where Trevor Cahill comes into play. 7,100 against the Orioles. Great matchup for Cahill, facing an Orioles team that we know strikes out a lot. If we pull up their projected lineup for tomorrow, their implied run total of 4.6 implied run total, which is a bit higher than I would like. It is a good hitter's park, but this is still a lineup that has plenty of strikeouts in it. A lot of upside here for Cahill. And I know he hasn't been that good lately, which is a bit concerning. But this is definitely a get-right spot for him going up against the Orioles. He has had some tough matchups lately against the Astros, the Yankees, the Mariners. Hasn't had really good spots lately. Now he gets to face a very bad Orioles lineup. So I really like Trevor Cahill. His price is really cheap on DraftKings at 7,100. If you play him and Wheeler together, you're still left with 4,150 remaining per player. So you got plenty of room to fit in some expensive bats if you go with this pairing. If we're looking even more cheaper, or even cheaper from Cahill, if you want to go really cheap, I think Derek Rodriguez, as gross as it sounds, is a good play at 6,300 at home in that great pitcher's park against the Reds. The Reds did absolutely blow up Derek Rodriguez in his last start for -10 DraftKings points, but now he gets to face them in Oracle Park, one of the more pitcher-friendly parks, or probably the most pitcher-friendly park. Low total as well for the Reds, just a 4.1 implied run total. Derek Rodriguez is so cheap at 6,300 that I think he is in play today. I think he can give you 15 to 20 DraftKings points here. So if I'm going for like a punt play, if I want to really try and spend up for like Verlander or Castillo, then I would probably look to Rodriguez at 6,300 as a value pitcher. But those are the pitchers I'll be looking at today. I tried to hit on pretty much all the ones that I feel like I'm going to be playing. So now let's talk about some bats I'll be looking to. We'll start off at first base. I think the Rockies are in a really good spot at home against Eric Lauer today. Really like Mark Reynolds at 4,200 on DraftKings. Also on Yahoo, he is really cheap, all the way down here at $9. One of my favorite plays on Yahoo, just factoring in his price tag. But like I said, it's a great spot for the Rockies here against Lauer. Lauer is not a pitcher that's going to get strikeouts. He's a guy that pitches in the zone, pitches to contact, and that's just not going to work in this hitter's park in Coors Field. We see it in the implied run total, 5.7 implied run total for the Rockies right now as I'm recording this video. Very tough spot for Lauer here. He's going to be facing a ton of good righties that hit lefties well, like Trevor Story, Arenado, Reynolds, Ian Desmond, Garrett Hampson, Chris Iannetta. And even the lefties in this lineup are not easy outs. Charlie Blackmon's not really an easy out. Tapia is not an easy out either. He's been hitting the ball very well lately. I think the Rockies are in a great spot here. I really like the righties, those Story, Arenado, Reynolds, Desmond. Those are the guys that definitely stand out to me. Desmond I like as well to go with along with Reynolds, doing like a mini stack. Desmond is very cheap at 4,300 on DraftKings compared to like what he probably should be here. He's been hitting the ball very well as of late as well, and he has been hitting the ball very well versus lefties this year, which obviously he's going to be facing a lefty today. I think he faced Derek Holland on Thursday, and I think he homered off of Holland, I'm pretty sure. He's gone for 20-plus DraftKings points in back-to-back games, 20 and 24 DK points. Just like I said, been hitting the ball well, homered on Thursday, had 2 triples on Wednesday or Tuesday, whatever. Desmond's just been hitting the ball very well lately, and I really like him here against a lefty, a pretty bad lefty in that. So Reynolds, Desmond, if you're trying to get exposure to the Rockies and you can't spend all the way up for Arenado or Story, Reynolds and Desmond are 2 guys that you can look to. But now, to fill out my 5 plays for DraftKings, I do want to talk about some of these Red Sox bats. I think they are in a very good spot here versus Eric Swanson. Swanson, not really that good of a pitcher, not a guy that I would be afraid to stack against, especially with a really good Red Sox lineup like this. 5.6 implied run total for the Red Sox here. Benintendi, Betts, Martinez, Moreland, Bogarts. These guys are great plays today. Probably would avoid the bottom of the lineup like the 8 and 9 hole like Bradley and Vasquez, but the 1 through 7 I love from the Red Sox. And JD Martinez really stands out at 4,800 on DraftKings. He's been hitting the ball very well lately, even versus righties. Martinez had been struggling this year versus righties, but he did face, I think it was David Hess on May the 7th, did hit a home run off of Hess. to kind of get things going. He has been hitting the ball well, better as of late. And his price is just so cheap on DraftKings for this matchup at $4,800. His price on Yahoo is also incredibly cheap as well. He's all the way down here at $17. Really like JD Martinez on Yahoo. Also, Benintendi has a really good price of just $19 if you want to do that two-man Red Sox stack. On Yahoo, I think that makes a ton of sense with Martinez and Benintendi. Obviously, you can play Mookie, but Mookie's price is a bit up there to $22, where Benintendi and Martinez are a lot cheaper. Those are the two guys I really like on Yahoo. Just think the Red Sox are in a great spot in general, and they're a team that I'm definitely going to be looking to stack up today, along with some Rockies bats. So these are my 5 plays for Yahoo, 5 plays for DraftKings. Now let's talk about some stacks. There are a lot of stacks that I like today. I'm definitely going to be spreading out my ownership. I'm not going to go too heavy on any teams today, especially since it's a big 14-game slate. Do play 20 lineups, so I'll definitely be mixing up my stacks. I expect to get some Angels bats, some Blue Jays bats. Angels versus Dan Straley, I really like 6 implied run total for the Angels. That's the highest on the slate right now. Angels will definitely get some ownership, but I do like them here. Some Blue Jays versus Dylan Covey. I think the Blue Jays bats 5.1 implied run total makes some sense. Obviously, the Red Sox I do like versus Eric Swanson. I think some Astros bats versus Lance Lynn makes some sense. 5 implied run total for the Astros. Some Twins bats versus Tyson Ross. 5.5 implied run total for them. I think the Twins are definitely in a good spot. And then the last 2 teams, the Rockies at home in Coors against Eric Lauer, I really like. And the Phillies against Homer Bailey, I think, are in a great spot as well. So those 5-6 teams, those are the teams I'm going to be really looking to stack today. I'll be mixing them in across all my lineups, just doing different combinations of all those different teams. So I think that is it for stacks. Let's go ahead and talk about some BVP now before we end the video. So there are a lot of BVP plays for today. I'm not going to be able to cover every single one of them, so I'll just try and kind of cover the ones that really catch my eye. If you do want to look at all these, you can just pause the video right here and look at all of them. But one that catches my eye is Paul DeJong. He's on 5 for 14, home run off of Trevor Williams. Matt Carpenter, 8 for 19, 3 home runs off of Trevor Williams. Tyler Flowers, 5 for 10 off Zach Greinke. Let's see here. Matt Joyce, 8 for 21, a home run off of Zach Greinke. He's also hit Greinke well. Josh Bell, 5 for 11, a home run off Adam Wainwright. Just looking at some of the averages. D. Gordon, 6 for 10, home run off Erod. Albert Pujols, 10 for 21, 2 home runs off of Dan Straley. Mike Trout, 9 for 20, a home run off of Dan Straley. Really do like those Angels bats versus Straley. I think they're in really good spots. But those are just some of the BVP plays that stand out to me. You got Cole Calhoun as well that's also hit Straley pretty well. But I think that is it for BVP. I think that is it for this video, guys. Big 14-game slate tonight. Hopefully you did enjoy this video. Hopefully it did help you. If you enjoyed, make sure you click that like button down below before you get out of here. I would really appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe if you have not already. And if you do have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. Or you can hit me up on Twitter at the DFS_GOAT if you do have any questions. Feel free to message me there. But yeah, guys, I think that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and we will see you in the next one. Good luck tonight. Peace.